Hey, how are you guys doing today? Welcome to another episode of Fridays Are For Friends. I'm here with an incredible artist, Arzlee. You just released an EP, Love
hmm
Lux. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what was the inspiration behind that?
Got you. So Love Lux is like the deluxe portion of my EP Love Arzlee, which I dropped at the beginning of 2024. And that literally came from just like I was really down on myself last year. Like it's towards the end of last year, 2023, where I was just like I had all these plans for what I was gonna do towards the end of the year, and everything fell apart. And I was beating myself up for months and months. And then I was sitting down with my manager and I was just like, you know what? Let's just create something I've never done. Like, let's say F all the music that's out or that we had like sitting in like a folder or anything. Let's just make new stuff. And then whatever comes in the next few weeks comes. And I made Love Ours Lee from this like 3 to 4 week spurt of just creativity, of just making stuff, making stuff. And I loved that zone after we had the project out so much. I was just like, okay, let's expound upon that. And that's where Love Lux came from. Just kind of wanting to pay tribute to R&B music of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That's kind of where I sit as far as like my musical taste. Most of the time, that's what I'm listening to. So yeah, that's where Love Lux and Love Arsley come from.
Yeah, did it feel like very freeing to
Yeah,
do that as well?
for sure. I am one of those people that get really in my head about, oh, it has to be like this and it has to be like this, it has to be like this. But we were working so fast and doing so much. It was just like I didn't have time to think about it. And I didn't have time to put all this extra thought into it. So when it was out and people received it well, I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So you know what you're doing even when you're not like whipping your own ass. Like that's
For
what
sure.
I needed to stop doing. So it was a very freeing, creative experience.
Yeah. And when I looked at the project, I was talking to you about it before, but it has like that orange theme.
Mhm.
What, I guess, was the reason you chose that color? Was it something about the Sonics? What I guess inspired that?
So I've been orange. I've been like, okay, so when I started making music 2017, 2018, I always wanted to have something that identified me as a brand. So I chose the color orange there and was doing it and was doing it. But then when I met my social media manager, my right hand in everything I do, his name is Cage. He showed up in the picture and was just like, okay, you're doing this orange thing, but it's not really clicking for me. Like, you could take this so much further. So when we started working on Love Ours, we were just like, we're going to go straight monochromatic orange with everything. And it just ended up working out. Orange is just always, when I was trying to think of what I wanted my career and what my music to represent, I wanted to be fresh. I wanted to be bright and vibrant and um, all things like that. One of my favorite songs of all time is Orange Moon by Erykah Badu. So it's just that color has always been around. I wanted it to represent just something that was fresh, something that you want to get into. So
Yeah.
it was always orange, but I think Love Ours Lee just took it to the next level and finally showed people like this is the brand.
For sure. Yeah.
And now I go to shows and people are like, "Oh, you're that orange dude."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And speaking about like your musical path and trajectory, how did the summers that you spent in Mississippi with your grandmother really help shape your artistic career?
She was the person that made me perform. Like I always was singing around the house and was always doing stuff, but I call her like to me, I always grew up calling her the funeral singer of Starkville, Mississippi, because I swear if there's a funeral, she's singing at it. But she was just like the only person in my life that would force me to get on stage. Like, you're not about to be scared. You have a voice, God gave it to you, you about to use it. So I feel like that was the main framing that I got from her during the summers because nobody else was forcing me to do it. I was just like, if I'm scared, they'd be like, okay, you scared, don't go up. But she's like, no, do it scared, do it afraid. And I didn't realize what she was shaping in doing that. I was just like, I'm being tortured. Like, I don't want to be on the stage, but no, she taught me how to get in front of a crowd and how to present myself and how to have pride in what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the main thing I got from the summers. And then just the music, like I grew up a lot of gospel music, but with her, it's a lot of like Sam Cooke too, and a lot of like old Etta James and things of that nature. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's just a part of that musical. I feel like I get different musical things from everybody in my family. That's what I got from her.
Yeah. And bouncing off of things you had to overcome, like overcoming that fear, what is one thing that you've had to overcome as an artist that was holding you back before?
Social media. I hated posting on social media. Like, I feel like as a teenager, I didn't think about it, but as soon as I was like in Atlanta, because I'm from North Carolina, so as soon as I moved here and was around other artists, like I think when I was home, I got to sit in a bubble where like, oh, I'm the only one doing music. And then you get to Atlanta, it's like, oh, everybody's doing music. You start getting your head about stuff. So I just stopped posting and wasn't really promoting my music much after it was out. But I feel like I really overcame that fear in the last year or so. And I've been seeing the blessings come from actually being forward and being like, this is my music, and having pride about it and not being able or not being afraid to share. Mm-hmm. I've seen what has come from that. So I feel like that's been my biggest obstacle.
Yeah. And finally being able to share who you are fully.
Exactly.
How does that now allow the listeners to understand who you are as an artist? And the second part of that question would be, what do you hope the listeners take away from the music that you share?
I just hope that, I feel like the main thing I wanted to do with my music from the beginning is just make sure that nobody ever feels alone. Like, somebody else is sitting around with that same thought. I feel like our generation, more than anyone, like, we are very creative. There's people that have all these dreams, and I think a lot of us are just scared to pursue them, scared to fail, scared to put all this money into it and nothing come out on the other side. And I feel like before Love Arzlee, that's what a lot of my music was about. It was just about life and doubt and fear. And it was literally like my music was like diary entries. Love Arzlee, I think, was the first time I really allowed myself to remove all of myself from it and just write for fun. Like, I was just like, okay, these are just these fun love songs. I'm writing songs from these eras. That's what this is going to be. But before, it was very just like, this is my diary. This is my life. Everything I was writing before was legit what was happening to me, what I was experiencing. And I just didn't want anyone to feel the way I felt, which was alone for a long period. So yeah, I hope that from my music, you feel like someone is there, someone relates, that you aren't the only person that feels the way you feel. I feel like we really separate ourselves, or we individualize ourselves to the point where we just think we're the only people that's ever felt this emotion. We're the only one that's ever been in this hole. And it's like, no, everybody is feeling that. And I think if we shared it more, we would feel more at one with our community. We would feel more united.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And what's one thing that's on your musical bucket list?
Musical bucket list. I really want to win a Grammy. I've watched, like, I always joke with my friends. I'm like, there was a long period of time where Grammys always came the week after Super Bowl, and my mom always knew she had to make 2 meals. Like, we're cooking for Super Bowl, but we're also having a Grammy party. And I've always wanted to win a Grammy, but also I really want to work with Tyler, the Creator.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I really want to meet Beyonce. I just want to touch the hem of her garment. But other than that, I feel like that's the biggest 3 things on my bucket list right now.
Yeah, Tyler, the Creator, is probably one of my biggest influences.
Yeah,
same. As an artist and producer, and when it comes to branding and everything, and the way he just doesn't care what people think.
Legit.
And I think that's like very inspiring. And I have no doubt that you will make those things happen, just keep pushing and keep being yourself, and it'll happen for sure.
Thank you. Yeah. I know me and Tyler have an R&B album to put together, and I know with his production, it would be crazy. I need it.
100%. And if there was one album that you could listen to for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Whoa. Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions.
Why?
He just covers, like, it's the soundscapes, it's the subject matter, it's the timelessness. Like, it still sounds fresh today, and that album came out in 73. Like, I believe that's the year. So definitely Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions. It's one of those albums I discovered as a teenager that I've just kind of held really close to me since then.
And is that an album that you kind of put your music against, or hope that your music will one day reach?
Stevie Wonder, I just saw him in concert for the first time a couple months ago. He just feels like such a unreachable thing to get to. If anything, I want to create a path and be as one of one as Stevie is. Like, when you talk about, like, Beyonce, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, those one-of-one people, I would say, instead of, like, comparing myself to him, that's what I'm really wanting. I'm wanting to have that same one of one. You can't compare this to anybody else because that's Stevie. That's Arzlee.
And I think that's a great statement to end on. And with that, I want you to let the audience know where they can find your music.
Got you. So my name is Arzlee. You can find me anywhere you stream music at Arzlee. That's my name spelled out. And you can find me on any social media platform at Arzlee Music. That is Arzlee Music. And thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to the audience for tuning in to another episode of Fridays Are For Friends. Peace.
Yo, what's up? My name is Arzlee, and thank you for tuning in to Fridays Are For Friends.